What's up, guys? It's Alec Torelli, and welcome back to an episode of The Hand of the Day, brought to you from Sardinia, Italy. If you guys would like the behind the scenes of my trip, some travel vlogs, some travel hacks, some advice for entrepreneurs, things that I share on my other lifestyle YouTube channel, you can get access to that by clicking the link below. I will share an awesome travel vlog with you guys from my trip to Sardinia as well, especially if you're coming here to Italy. Highly recommend that you check it out. For now, though, let's jump right back in to the hand of the day. Today's hand comes from a 2-5 no-limit hold'em game, and we are the hero in the cutoff, facing an open of $20 from mid-position and a call. We have Queen-Jack offsuit here, and I think this hand is a fold. Generally in this spot, I would just pitch this hand. This is like a standard fold here. If I'm going to play this hand, I sort of rank the order of the decisions that I like to make every time I make one, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what I think is the best, second best, and least favorable line. That was a politically correct way of saying worst. But in general, I would say folding is best. 3-betting or re-raising is the second best line here. And the reason for that is you don't really want to be calling with Queen-Jack and then letting someone squeeze behind you, knowing that you're going to have to fold, or letting someone else call behind you and playing a 3 or 4 or 5-way pot, maybe not even in position if the button calls, with Queen-Jack offsuit. Our hand doesn't play that well. Queen-Jack suited, on the other hand, I could definitely go for a call. I could get behind that, but Queen-Jack offsuit doesn't play that well as a call. It does, on the other hand, play decently well as a 3-bet. By 3-betting, you give yourself 2 chances to win the hand. One is you just win the hand right away by making it $90 and everyone folds. But secondly, you could still have the best hand. People could open with 7-8 suited and someone else could call with Ace-5 suited, and then you 3-bet, and then, you know, the original opener calls, the other guy folds, and like you have the best hand going to the flop. Or maybe a better hand calls you. Maybe he calls you with Ace-Jack, but the flop comes 10-5 deuce and he check folds. By being the aggressor, you give yourself 2 chances to win the hand, because the way the hand is going to play out is your hero, the villain, is going to check the flop, you're going to bet, and he's going to check fold unless he hits, and most of the time people don't hit. So it's a reasonable way to play the hand as a 3-bet, because you give yourself multiple ways to win the pot. So 3-betting is my second favorite option. My least favorite, I'm just going to lay down the hammer, the worst option here is calling, which is what the hero did in the hand. So I love you, by the way, if you're watching this video. I believe your name's Nick. You're a legend. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for being a subscriber. But this is the worst way to play the hand. So that's just what it is. Sometimes you got to lay down the hammer. It's what we do. So anyway, you opted to call, which you called. That is what it is. Everyone else folds, and we go 3 ways to the flop. The flop comes down King 10-8 with 2 clubs. The original opener checks. The caller now bets $70. He bets the size of the pot. And here I think we have a pretty clear call. We don't want to raise and then get jammed on and then have to fold out all our equity. We can't really fold here. I mean, we called with Queen-Jack offsuit pre-flop. We got this flop. There is a flush draw, yes. Some people are like, oh, well, there's a flush draw. You should never draw to a straight when there's a flush draw out there, because all your outs aren't clean. And while I would agree with you, what you also have to keep in mind is that just because you don't have the flush draw doesn't mean you can't rep the flush draw. What I mean by that is, let's say you're beat and your opponent has, Ace-10. Well, if you think about how this hand is going to actually play out, even though you don't have a flush draw, if the 7 of clubs comes on the turn, he's going to check, you can now bluff, and he's going to fold. So you can still rep the flush draw some of the time. If a club comes and your opponent bets, you're going to fold, of course. So that is bad for you. You might get coolered some of the time when, the 9 of clubs comes or the Ace of clubs comes or something like that. There are times you get coolered because of the flush draw, but it's not necessarily you should just fold your hand and never draw to a straight when there's a flush draw. You got to think a level deeper and think about what are your options during the hand, and that's what better players are doing, and that's what I encourage you guys to think about more often when you're kind of analyzing these hands and figuring out what to do. So we don't have a club in our hand, which kind of sucks. I would like it more if we did, because we could backdoor something, but even still, I would call this flop. Expect the original opener to get out of the way and go heads up. As played, we called, totally standard. The original opener calls, and we go 3 ways to the turn. The turn now comes an offsuit 9, absolute gin, slam dunk, home run, we make the nuts. So the original opener checks, first position checks, second guy bets 225 here. Now this is a big bet. Like, in a spot like this, betting 3 ways in this spot when we have no clubs in our hand, I'm always putting him on a very big hand. Also, you got an under-the-gun guy who might have something as well, but even if the under-the-gun has something like King-Queen, who's going to just check fold, the villain 2, there's a lot of hands that he can have that are really strong. He can have King-10, he can have 10-9, he can have 10-8, he can have 9-8, he can have a set, he can have a straight as well, but he can also have a lot of combo draws like Jack-10 of clubs, Queen-10 of clubs, Ace-Jack of clubs, Ace-Queen of clubs, 9X of clubs. Like, there's so many strong hands that he can have that I'm going to just jam here. I think I'm just going to put all the money in and force him to call it off when he has those weaker hands. If he has 2-pair or a set or a pair plus flush draw plus straight draw combo like Jack-10 of clubs, he's not going to fold. But we're forcing him to put all the money in behind. So he's getting the right price to call against our range, but against our specific hand, he's making a losing call, and we're forcing him to make a negative EV play by jamming. Calling is, more balanced. You can argue that you should call here because it's balanced, because sure, like, that's a good play to make because you're going to be calling this turn with other weaker hands like Jack-10. You're going to be calling with those types of hands that we said your opponent could have. You're going to call with some 2-pairs. You're going to call with some pair plus flush draw, pair plus straight draw types of hands. So from a balance standpoint, I could get behind calling here. But I think because of the bet size that he made and because of him really defining his hand in this spot and the way that people generally play these spots in these games, I'm probably just going to jam it all in here. So I think that's my play in real time. I don't think that jamming necessarily makes you unbalanced. It doesn't make you exploitable. You can still flat this turn with sets and 2-pairs and have a strong enough hand range that you can be calling the river when it blanks. So just because you're jamming with the nuts doesn't mean that you're gonna never have stronger hands to call with on the river. So keep that in mind as well. I would just jam here. As played, we made it 685, which I don't really see the point of keeping 255 behind. It's almost like we're trying to price our opponent in here. He's going to be getting like, let's see, the pot's 1100. He's going to be calling 400. He's going to be getting almost 3-1. We don't really want to give him 3-1 if he has a set or like a straight draw plus a flush draw with a redraw. Maybe he has Ace-Queen of clubs and he could win if a jack comes, or it's like we don't really want to give him a great price. He's going to have 25 or 30% equity. He's not making a huge mistake by calling with the types of hands that he has, given the price that we're giving him. He's not even making a huge mistake if we jam. So I don't really see a reason to keep 255 behind. Like, are we going to fold the river if the board pairs? Are we going to fold the river if a club comes? I just don't see it. So I would just jam here. I think it just makes the hand easier to play, and it's just a better overall strategy. As played, we make it 685. The villain 2 calls, which makes me think it's really likely he has one of those pair plus draw hands. Maybe something like a flush draw, straight draw type of combo. If he had a set, he'd probably just put it in. Like, what's he going to do? Call with a set and then check fold the river? It just doesn't really make sense. So it makes me think he doesn't have a really strong value hand. It makes me think he has a hand that he feels like he's getting the right price to call the turn, but he doesn't see a reason to jam because he's always going to get it in behind. So I put him on something like an Ace-Jack of clubs, maybe like Jack-10 of clubs, Queen-10 of clubs type of hand when he calls here. So he calls, and we go heads up to the river where shit really goes down. The river comes a 7 of clubs, and now our opponent jams. So this is a gross spot for us. If the river was a deuce of clubs and he jammed, I would almost like folding more, even though I think folding is kind of crazy. Like, we're getting... What are we getting? Like 7-1 or something? 8-1? Like, it's so ridiculous to fold when you're getting such good odds. Anytime you need, 10 or 15% equity to justify calling and you have a monster hand, it's generally not going to be terrible to just put it in. You're not going to be losing that much money. And if on the offset chance your opponent's doing something frisky or crazy, you're at least not getting outplayed. Again, this is why I would just go back to the turn and why I would just jam the turn, so you don't put yourself in this spot. You don't want the board to pair, your opponent jams, and then you're like, oh, well, I never beat a bluff. I only beat bluffs. He's never bluffing. It's just crazy. So in this spot, if the deuce of clubs comes, then it's like, well, he has a flush or air, and I don't beat a flush and he's never really bluffing, maybe you might find some crazy hero fold. I'd probably still call it off. But when it comes to 7 of clubs and he jams, I'm never going to fold. The reason is, what if he has like Jack 10 and called the turn, and then now he has a straight and jams the river? So like, there are some possibilities of him just having a jack in his hand and having a straight and not having a flush. It's rare. He's probably going to have a flush most of the time here, but then again, you only need to be right 15% of the time or something like that to justify calling. So if I had a pot size bet left and he jammed here, I'm folding all day, slam dunk, hands down, I'm going to fold. But when it comes this 7 of clubs and he has an 1/8 of the pot, like, I'm just going to close my eyes, hate my life, cry, and pay it off. As played, the hero ended up folding. The villain turned over Jack 9 of clubs for an epic fold by the hero. Amazing fold, Nick. Congrats, you made a better fold than I could probably make in this spot. So I want to give you amazing props for folding here in this spot. If you like this hand, please like this video. Please give it a thumbs up. That lets me know I'm producing content that you guys like, so I can produce more of it in the future. Subscribe to my channel. Every Tuesday there will be a new hand of the day coming your way at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. I had to get that right. My time zone's all messed up. And that's it. If you guys have hands you'd like me to review, click the link below or submit them to me at consciouspoker.com. I will pick the best ones and review them on this channel. If you have questions for me, you can send them to me at consciouspoker.com or through the link below as well. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time today, and I will see you guys next time on the Hand of the Day. Cheers.